Good morning and welcome to this weekend's Brunch Club, where we toast to all the amazing, diversely faceted women out there, filling your cup with inspiration and encouragement as our guests share their personal stories, experiences with careers, family, parenting, equality, mentoring, and advice. The Brunch Club is where we raise a glass and champion female talent and leadership everywhere, and where sparkling is always encouraged. Hosted by Rachel Swoboda and brought to you from the beautiful showroom of Bixby and Ball, located in Newport Beach's Lido Marina Village. Now, here is your host, Rachel Swoboda.
All right, all kinds of crazy going on here this morning. I'm Rachel Swoboda. Welcome to the Brunch Club. And I am here today with Mary Grace Schmidt, who I have known and loved for years and years.
Well, thank you. Ever since I was little.
I know. Yeah, so Mary and her whole family are just amazing. Modern day family, you know, parents are friends, sisters are friends. And last year, I learned that Mary had started her own company. And I was like, what? Mary's old enough to have her own company? Oh my God, she's all grown. Okay. So, wow. So Mary started this amazing company called Mariamor. Okay. And Mariamor is a jewelry company, but it's so much more than a jewelry company. It's a lifestyle brand. It is so meaningful and so near and dear to your heart and to mine now and to everyone. But I want you to be the one to do it justice. And, you know, how did you come up with a name? The inspiration for how this all got started.
So, we'll take it back a little bit. So,
Yes.
I guess almost 9 years ago now, I had an uncle who was diagnosed with lung cancer. And during his battle, one of my aunts, kind of unbeknownst to the rest of us, started collecting these coins that she found. And every time she found a coin on the ground, on the subway, on the bus, whatever it was, she picked it up, saved it, because she believed that they were his pennies from heaven or his prayers. So, you know, when you find a coin, it says, "In God we trust" on it. So it's a reminder that somebody's kind of watching over you and making sure that that prayer is yours. So every time she found a coin, it was one of his prayers. So unfortunately, about a year later, he passed away. But at his funeral, the little reception after the funeral, she gifted this jar of coins. I mean, this jar was like this big, and she had hand painted the jar, and it was completely full, like all the way up to the brim.
And she'd found them all.
Found all of these coins, every
Wow.
one of them. And she gifted them and said, "These are your dad's prayers." And I loved the sentiment, and they now keep it in their house. And she, it was a way for so he had just a few weeks before he'd passed away, he'd had his first grandson. So he gifted them to his daughter, or she gifted them to his daughter and grandson. And I just loved the sentiment, but I just didn't know exactly how to continue this yet. So I was still in college at the time, and so I went back. I was at Texas A&M, and I was building a closet in my new apartment. So at the time, I was kind of collecting these coins for the last few months, and I had little jars, like cute little jars like this, and I'd have them all over my apartment, just filled with, you know, maybe 5 or 10 coins. But there was nothing specific that it was like, oh, all of these coins are for, you know, Susan, or all of these coins are for Joe. It's like, these 3 were for Becky, and these 2 were for, you know, Joe. And so everybody kind of had, while I was thinking about them or praying for them that day, that's when you found the coin. Okay. So I liked the idea of, again, gifting my prayers to somebody. And since I was drilling holes in the wall for my closet, I had a drill sitting next to me. And
Okay, that's amazing that you were drilling, like, at all. Like, wow, okay. Right.
I got really close friends with the guys at Home Depot, and I
nice.
think they really enjoyed that. I mean, every time I bought the first drill, it wasn't the right drill. I bought another drill, and that was better, but I bought all the wrong drill bits. So then I had to rebuy all new drill bits. And then, I mean, every step along the way, it was like, oh, I bought these like, they were like little triangle, I'm sure there's a name for them, but like you put them on a wall and they come out.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, I bought ones and they kept falling out. So every time I'd put it up and put something on it, it'd come crumbling down.
But the universe has a plan.
It
like,
does.
There's a reason why that your, DIY project was.
It did. And to be honest, the closet came out beautiful. It really did. I mean, it took me a little while to get there, but I had all of these extra drills and drill bits sitting around.
And coins.
And coins, and lots of coins. And as you can tell, I've always loved jewelry.
It's a signature Schmidt thing. Like, everyone, you guys all are always very.
Yes, my
jewelry.
mom has like quadruple the amount of bracelets that I do. And when she's coming because she jingles. So as I get older, I just keep adding, and they're all special in some way. And so
that's the thing too. That every single one of them means something. You guys are always like so thoughtful about all of your pieces. So, all right. So you've got the drill bits lying around and the coins. All right. So what made you put them together?
So I was actually coaching soccer at Texas A&M. By the time I got to this point, I'd started coaching instead of playing. So there were girls on the team that were, going through a hard time, whether it was academically or athletically. We had a girl that had, an injury that was kind of working through some stuff. And I was like, you know what? I think I can put this coin on something and like hang it on a piece of jewelry or a cord or something like that where she can actually wear it. And so when you play soccer, you're not allowed to have jewelry showing. So my first one I made was an anklet so that she could hide it under her
but
socks
it was like
and
her good luck piece.
Yep. So that was the idea. I started with anklets so that you could hide them. Kind of pull your stuff over and kind of forget they're there. And then it kind of went from there. And then unfortunately, when you put these, take it the next step. We have a Hobby Lobby close by where I was buying a lot of like little knickknacks for the new festive closet. And they had these little stamps. I don't know if you've seen them. They're these little like metal, you can actually see the picture on my website of the stamps because I still use them. They're these little metal stamps. They're small, tiny little rectangles. And you can hammer them into like whatever, like a blank or, some people do it into wood or metal or, so you can even, I think, do some sorts of like rubber and things like that too. So I bought those and tried to stamp. The first one I tried to stamp was Walk in Faith. It was where I started. So I tried to stamp Walk in Faith into a penny. So I drilled the penny and then tried to stamp into it. You cannot read it at all.
No.
The embossing of the coin and the debossing of my stamps were competing against each other, and you couldn't really read anything. So, took it to the next step. I lived right next to the train tracks in College Station at Texas A&M. So I'd hear the train go by, and when we were little and my grandpa was sick, his care facility was right next to the train tracks. So my dad used to always take us out and flatten these pennies on the train tracks.
Yeah, very, very dangerous, but also something that my dad did with us too.
Right? I think it's like a dad thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I knew that you could flatten them and they'd come out, like a sterling blank, just nice, easy canvas for me to start writing messages on. So once I figured out I could do it, kind of took off from there. And
so were you just like lining all these like up on the track? Like,
yes.
Pretty much.
And I was so nervous that it would like cause a derailment of some sort.
Yes.
So I'd space them out by like 20 yards each.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't want to like go back to back to back and then have something happen. But my favorite story, the reason we don't do this anymore is twofold. One,
it's very dangerous.
Yes, very dangerous. So my favorite story, I'll start with that.
Okay.
Again, I was coaching at the time, and so I had laid out all these coins, like, 20 yards, 20 yards, 20 yards, and I think I'd put 20 of them down. So it was like a long walk.
Yeah.
And I'm walking down the train tracks, and as I'm walking down, you're looking down. You're not really paying attention at all.
Oh, God.
And so there was a train that was coming like towards me that I didn't realize was coming yet. So I'm still walking, And I had two of my players driving by like on the road next to the train tracks, and they were screaming at me, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" And so then they like pulled around. They were like screaming at me like, "It'll be okay." They totally thought I was just standing on the train tracks like waiting to be hit. I was like, what in my life made you think that I was this far along this path?
Oh my God, so off-brand.
Right.
Not you at all.
No. And
Oh
so
my
it was
God.
like, I think it was like the running joke for the next like year and a half. Like, remember that time we thought Mary was like secretly really sad and like just walking the train tracks? So we don't do it for that reason, safety purposes. And then two, the rocks on the side look a lot like nickels and dimes and quarters. So they shoot out. They don't just drop. They shoot out, and you never really find them. You lose half the money you start with.
So you found, as your business has been around and growing, you found another way.
We did.
Yeah.
We found another way, which is great. So now we can flatten our coins in a safer, more cost-effective manner.
So you've perfected the flattening, but it's so much more than just the flattening. I mean, I don't know if the camera can see these. We'll have to like share them and make sure everyone goes to the website. But the amount of messaging that you can get on each coin, the different styles that you can get on each coin, the places that you can put them. I mean, it's blowing up into an entire line. It's definitely not just anklets for under shin guards anymore. No. This is evolved. So I mean, let's talk about them. But they're all still very special.
Everyone. So no matter how hard I try, I'll never make two the exact same, which is my favorite part about the whole thing. So since they're coins, they're made in different years. They've been exposed to different environmental factors. Maybe it was laying on the ground in the middle of the street for a couple months and it's picked up some oils and greases, or maybe it was covered in dirt. Maybe somebody, had dirty hands, or it was in grass, or they all have different things that have happened to them, kind of like us in our lives.
Yes.
So when I get these coins, they're all unique and beautiful in their own way. And then when I flatten them, they might flatten out to a different shape. They might have, a fun copper ridge to them. They may have like a giant black mark straight through the middle that picks up certain letters along the diagonal. You might be able to see the head really well in some, but the wings of the eagle really well in others. So they're all different, even if they have, like yours, the You Are My Sunshine. These two that she's wearing are actually, it's I Am Blessed on the small one. And then the big one is You Are My Sunshine, the song. It goes all the way to I Love You at the end. But, I mean, these are two of our most popular coins that we've been making almost since the beginning. And I've still never seen two that are exactly the same. So even if somebody has the same message, it's not the same coin because we're each unique. So I like that. You can kind of play on that as well.
So when I, last year, when I found out that you were doing this, I had run into your mom, and then she said, oh, well, we're doing like we have to take a break. I don't want to forget we're going to take a break. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish that story. Okay.
Bedding, lighting, furniture, decor. We do it all, even the kitchen sink. Bixby & Ball offers customers a thoughtful collection of home decor and meaningful gifts for any special occasion. Bring the coastal lifestyle home with the help of our styling and design team. Let's create a timeless piece together. Visit us at one of our charming stores, conveniently located in Newport Beach, Lido Marina Village, and Solana Beach, Cedros Design District. Or shop online at bixbyandball.com.
So, all right. So it was the end of last year, and your mom's like, "Oh, well, come by. Like, we're doing a holiday party. Like, there's going to be shopping." Yep. And I was like, "Okay, well, I need holiday gifts for my sisters. I need things for the people that I work with." I was like, "Great." All right. So
perfect timing.
Yeah, it was perfect. So it was raining. They drove out to Orange. I was like, "Where am I going? Like, this is really far. Like, I must be lost. I must have the wrong address." Anyways, I get there and I walk in, and Mary has this beautiful office showroom decked out for the holidays, and all of these amazing pieces. And it's not just like, okay, there's like 2 or 3. I mean, she has found a way to not only keep the coins individual and special, but everyone who's there, and it's packed, by the way, everyone is like custom building their pieces. Well, I want the gold chain, or I want the silver chain, or I want it thinner, I want it thicker. No one's buying off the rack. Like
Right.
this is a bespoke experience. So every coin, or then like the piece that it's connecting onto here, or the way that it's faceted, is unique and special. So I was thinking, okay, well, I want to buy something for my sisters. Well, it's like, well, this one just totally feels like Jen. Like this one feels like Erica. It's got to be totally a different, a unique selection for them. And then everyone else was going through that same journey.
Yep.
Which I thought was like it's so hard to build a business, but then to build a business that's custom and that's personal to everyone.
Right.
That really just moved me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. We've tried to make it so the custom is one of my favorite parts, and it's been there since the beginning. The minute people realize that I'm making them,
Yes.
people are like, yeah. So people are like, oh, you drilled that? Oh, let's drill it a different way, and let's add this charm instead. It's like people's creativity just starts going, which is awesome. But even when we try not to customize, let's say sometimes we would do like little shows, especially around Christmas time. So we're in a school or we're in someone's home where it's slightly inappropriate to start drilling with metal shards going everywhere. So we try not to build, and even when we try not to build and we don't say we can build, people see the pieces and go there on their own, like even without our sign.
And everything was put together, but then people are like, "Can I trade this for that?" And and you guys were sure, yes, absolutely,
Right.
Like if it makes your heart happy, then we're gonna do that for you. I was like, wow.
We want it to mean the most to whoever's wearing it. So whether that's this chain because, oh, I wear only gold, and my mom wore only gold and she had a chain just like this, and oh, I have this charm holder because I like to switch my coins, and I'm a teacher so I can put my badge on the charm holder too. So every piece is special to who's wearing it. So
well, and then there's a couple of things I really want to touch on. One is you guys have done custom pieces for schools, for nonprofits.
Yep.
Let's talk about that, because so if I'm a business or a nonprofit or a hospital or a sports team, I can come to you and say, all right, let's design something just for us.
Yep, which to be honest, that's one of my favorite. I have two favorite
Just
parts
so
of
many
the
favorites.
business.
Yeah.
But this is one of them, is working with people who are making the world better. So not to get like overly religious, but there's a verse in the Bible that says whatever gifts we have, we should use them to kind of make the world a better place. And I'm obviously summarizing that quite a bit, but that's the gist of this. So whatever they have in their life that they're making the world a better place. So they're coaching, they're a nonprofit, they're a church, they're a hospital. They're using their talents and their gifts to make the world a better place. So those are the people that we want to connect with. Those are the people we like to work with on a daily basis. If I'm going to try and make the world a better place through spreading our love and our inspiration, and they're trying to spread it to, kids in the community that might need a little encouragement or things like that. So we've worked with dozens of charities, and we've worked with a couple different hospitals and churches, schools, sport teams. So depending on what their message is that they're trying to promote, we are able to custom create coins just for them, how they want to wear it. So
right now, I know that you guys are working with Working Wardrobes for their 30th anniversary. And for those who know Working Wardrobes, it's all about the power of a paycheck, and it's about, getting people back on their feet and helping them get jobs. And so you're designing something custom for their big 30th anniversary.
Yes, it hasn't been launched yet, so coming soon. I'm very excited for you guys all to see it. But we're working on, so kind of like how Rachel has 2 coins on hers, that's kind of the idea that we're going with for them. So they have a couple different messages that they, are looking to promote. So each coin is going to have a different message, and then they're the people that they're helping, the people that work with them, their people on their board, donators, anybody who's influenced or impacted or associated with them can come and create their own pin or bracelet or necklace. So every person's, again, is unique. depending on what inspiration they need, which I loved. It's
so consistently on brand with what you're doing, and I love that you found a way to do something custom for them, but it's still custom for the end user, and it's heartfelt and emotional, and it's just I'm so excited to see this come to life.
I really am.
I saw a sneak peek the other day, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing.
I'm so excited. It's going to be one of our more fun projects, I think, for as far as nonprofits go. Normally you just choose one coin and you give it that way. This is another level, and I'm really excited about it.
So, and there's a couple other things I want to make sure that we touch on. There is a show on TV that one of the characters made your necklace a part of her character, and it's tell that story. You have so many good stories.
Thank you. I feel like I'm taking up all of your time.
This is about you. This is all about you.
Thanks. Well, it was really cool, actually. So I think I mentioned that I was a soccer coach when I first started. So I'm a family-oriented person. You mentioned that I have a big family. I was looking to move back here from Texas to be closer to them, and I was coaching at Texas A&M, coaching soccer, and I moved back here to take a job as the soccer coach at Pepperdine, one of the assistants. And I loved being a soccer coach and just loved being there. And
she loves love. She loves love.
Every day spread love. That's our company motto. So,
yes.
But yes, you kind of get to know each girl, and you feel like you're a part of their journey, and you get to impart your wisdom and experience, and that's something wonderful. But it wasn't filling that competitive void for me. I felt like there's a difference between coaching and being on the field. So I'd started to do these little coins more often in my apartment in Santa Monica, which did not please my neighbors, but it was just a way for me to kind of release some of that energy. Like, I was smashing these coins and I was hitting them and stamping them, and it just kind of gave me an outlet.
Absolutely.
And so I was wearing one around, and there was a boutique in Brentwood, actually, right on Montana in Santa Monica. And they had seen the pieces that I was making, and the guy that was the owner actually loved them, was like, yeah, give us 6 or 8 and we'll test them out, why not? And
sure,
he put them up, and within a couple weeks he was already asking for more, and it just went, again, without ever promoting them or trying to. It seems like people were picking up the pieces that inspired them, which was great. So even though my stamping was not at all perfected yet, they were a little rough in the early days.
That's good.
But they saw the message behind them. So whether they were beautiful yet or not,
they loved them.
The message behind it that counted. So I went back in, maybe 2 months later to fulfill their next order. It was probably the third down the line, and one of the owner's wife was like, "Yeah, I just want to let you know, there's an actress that's been buying your things." And I was like, "Oh, that's great! Like, that's so exciting. Who?" And they were like, "Oh, it's someone named Maria Bello. She comes in here all the time and shops with us, and she's really taken a liking to your pieces." And so it turns out that her boyfriend had come in and bought her first piece, and then she ended up loving it. And so she came back and bought more for gifts and for herself. And at the time, again, I was still coaching and thought, "Yeah, great, it's awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks. Yeah, happy day." And then kind of moved on. And it wasn't until a couple months later, it was probably 8 months later, she had her stylist reach out to the boutique. So the boutique reached out to me and said, "Hey, I know you don't live here anymore. By now I'd moved back to Orange County to actually start Mariamor, but are you willing to make 5 exact replicas of the necklace you made for Maria?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I don't remember which one it was, but just let me know which one she wants replicas of." Okay. And she loved the old school lumpy, odd shaped. So like when you look at hers, it is not perfect. And I think that's part of part of the allure was that it was just rustic and dirty and dingy, and it had a life and it had gone through stuff. So I was asked to make 5 replicas, and I was like, that's an interesting request. What are they for? And they were like, well, she's been picked up as a recurring character on NCIS. And then I got all sorts of excited because I actually like NCIS, and I was like, I actually watched that somewhat frequently, kind of. Like one of the 3 shows that I end up going back to and watching. And I was like, I'll see it on TV when I watch. So cool. So I made them and sent them. And then it kind of blew up bigger than I ever thought it would. It was just kind of an exciting thing for me to see the piece on the show. And it kind of ended up being built, like you mentioned, into her character. She'd... her role, she's a forensic psychologist, is I think technically what her title is. And she had been through a lot in her past. It was like she'd been
as a character,
yes. So she'd been taken captive, and her and her comrades had gone into this place that they kind of got caught, and it was this undercurrent of her whole character was that she'd been dealing with this anxiety, this weight, it was just, you could tell she was dealing with the repercussions. She had scars all over her body from being beaten, and her coin, I don't think I've mentioned, says faith all over it. So as the storyline continues throughout the season, she ends up kind of reconnecting with the people that took her captive and killed her team and her team of soldiers. And at the end, she ends up catching the guy who did it, and it's this big, I guess, climax of everything that she's been going through. And so after they catch the guy, and it's like her body can finally release the weight of this sadness, this emotion. She kind of lets it all go, and she goes back to, this is the very last, I think, actually it was the first episode, because they stopped the last episode of the last season and the first episode of this season. They kind of reconnected them.
Okay.
So it was the first episode, and she, at the very end, it's like a 3-minute, maybe 4-minute, just her and our coin in this scene together, and it's her coming to the grave sites of her fallen soldiers and, being with them and taking this necklace off, this message of faith, this journey of faith that she's been through, taking it off and finally burying it and being like, hey, this is done. This was part of my life, and buried it with her team. And I just, I mean, I get chill. I'm like, my dad goes, you couldn't have asked for a better send-off.
I know. Wow.
It was just, this is what Mariamor is about. It's about faith, it's about inspiration, it's about finding the message that you need that speaks to you and letting that influence your life and inspire your life. And of all things, I couldn't have asked for a better public explanation of what we're all about.
That is fantastic. I love how it aligns, and I'm glad that you told the whole story.
Started from the beginning.
Yes, these are like things that people are probably going to ask you for years and years. So I'm so glad, and we can use this. We can put this on your website. We can put this on your Instagram and everywhere. Yes.
I need more videos.
Yeah, she needs more videos. We'll
I
talk
do.
about that.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah. So now, if people want to get their coin, put their coin together, website, call you, email you, how do you want people to get in contact with you?
I would say we're working on actually, as we speak, there's a development on our website where you'll be able to, kind of like Nike.com, where you pick a shoe, you pick your colors, you pick your message, you pick your, laces. That's kind of what we're going for with our coins. You pick your coin, you pick your message, you pick your chain, you pick your charm, and you will be able to customize it from scratch. Until that point, email me for custom, or you can go on and choose from any of our current collection online.
And there's a monthly club that you can join.
yeah.
So I want to really encourage people to do that, because then you get a coin every month that's something new that that you're making, and it comes with a message, and it's thoughtful, and you've got a new piece of inspiration every month, and then you can add to your collection. Like if I have 2 on here right now, I mean, I could keep adding. I could add it on my bracelet. I can keep growing with it.
Yep.
There's
so
magnets. I'm like I love that. Like
we like to keep just adding things.
yes, it's good.
But yes, that's our love club. So again, spreading love every month. It's just our way of kind of continuing to inspire and spread love in the world.
Good. Well, thanks for coming on today and telling everybody
thank
about it. And we will keep up with Mary and how she's spreading love, one coin at a time.
There you go. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for stopping by the Brunch Club. It's been our pleasure to share this time with you. We look forward to bringing you more sparkling inspiration next weekend. If you have feedback, topics, or want to nominate someone to be a guest on the show, please reach out to us at rachel@sundaybrunchagency.com. Cheers!
This video was brought to you by 800 Cameraman, Southern California's only 20-time National Emmy Award-winning production company.